The Power Supply Module, or PSM, has three purposes. First, it converts AC power to DC. Second, it contains the liquid level board that controls the carbonator motor to make the carbonated water. And third, it distributes power to the various electrical components in the dispenser. The first step is to open the upper and lower doors and turn the power to the dispenser off. To do this, perform the secret handshake as described in the introduction. The lower door will pop open. Manually open the upper door. Locate the power switch and turn it off. All of the components, including the can, communicate through the PSM. The PSM has breakers for the User Interface Module, or UIM, for the FCM, or flow controls, for the top, middle, and bottom shelves, for the DC peripherals, which include the nozzle light, product agitation motor, lower door solenoid, and ice gate solenoid, for the AC motor, which includes the carb motor and the ice agitation motor. Located within the PSM is the power supply brick. This converts the incoming AC line voltage to DC voltage used by the dispenser electronics. This is a very reliable component. However, you should know how to remove and reinstall the power supply brick. There are instructions at the end of this chapter that explain this process. The PSM is held in place by two Phillips head screws on the top and one Phillips head screw at the bottom. Remove all three. Carefully disconnect all of the wiring harnesses from the side of the PSM. With these round-type connectors, twist the ring and pull them loose. All of these connectors are keyed in a way where they will only fit in one position. These connectors have tabs. Squeeze the tabs, then pull the connector out. They've got O-rings to keep moisture out of the connector so they can be difficult to pull out. The bigger connectors have two tabs to squeeze, one on the top and one on the bottom. Always pull by the connector and never by the wire when disconnecting the harnesses. All of these connectors fit snugly, so be patient when pulling them out. The last connector is on the bottom. It has two tabs as well. Squeeze those tabs and pull it out. Once all the harnesses are disconnected, grasp the PSM and slide it forward and out of the dispenser. This fitting is named the blind mate fitting. It's where the AC power comes into the PSM and where the AC power goes back out to the carbonator motor and ice agitation motor. The other side of the blind mate fitting connects here. It has a couple of pins to help guide the PSM into place when you're sliding it into the dispenser. Because of this blind mate connector, the PSM can be removed from the dispenser without unplugging the dispenser from the wall outlet. To install the new PSM, lay it into the bracket and slide it in. The blind mate pins on the back will help guide it into place. If it's seated firmly and won't go any further back, it is in the correct position. Reinstall the three screws, two on top and one on the bottom. With the three screws in and the PSM locked in place, reconnect all the harnesses. Each harness has a label that corresponds to a label on the side of the power supply module. When reconnecting the harnesses, start from the top of the PSM. Here are the wire harness connections that will need to be connected: nozzle, ice bin, carb sense, NNS, ice thermal fan, UIM, product agitation, flow control, top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf, door lock sensor. The cables on the top of the PSM have a notch in them so they can't be put in the wrong spot or inserted the wrong way. As the connector is inserted, twist it slightly back and forth and the notch will catch. Then push it in the rest of the way. Then turn the locking collar. It's very important that all the cables are fully seated and locked into place. This will be covered in the troubleshooting section. Next, turn the power on and allow the dispenser to boot up with the lower door open. This helps the dispenser recognize the new PSM. There's no need to prime as with the installation of other components. Replacement of the PSM is now complete. Close the upper and lower door and the Coca-Cola Freestyle is ready to be placed back into service. Earlier, we mentioned the power supply brick. While this is a very reliable component, you should know how to remove and replace the power supply brick. The first step is to open the upper and lower doors and turn the power to the dispenser off. To do this, perform the secret handshake as described in the introduction. The lower door will pop open. Manually open the upper door. Locate the power switch and turn it off. Remove this screw and the cover plate to expose the power supply brick. Then press the button on the upper left corner, pull down the release lever, and pull out the power supply brick. To install the new power supply brick, slide it into place, secure the release lever, and install the cover plate. Next, turn the power on and allow the dispenser to boot up with the lower door open. There's no need to prime as with the installation of other components. Replacement of the power supply brick is now complete. Close the upper and lower door and the Coca-Cola Freestyle is ready to be placed back into service.